Hello students. In the last class, we have discussed what is unemployment, which is considered to be involuntary idleness. And we have seen the extent of unemployment, the different concepts of unemployment, and the different types of unemployment. To have a quick recap, the different types of unemployment we have is seasonal, that is agriculture, provides the employment, cannot provide the employment throughout the year. And during the off season time, because this activity depends mainly on the monsoons, so during off season time, most of the farmers remain idle. Despite more people are working than required, then we have seen frictional, cyclical, technological, and different kinds of unemployment. The next one is what reasons contribute for increase in the unemployment, or what reasons are causing unemployment in our country. So when we see back the reasons, we hardly have 4 to 5 reasons which talks about or which says that unemployment is caused. With this extent of unemployment, we are not able to still reduce it. What reasons are jobless growth, increase in labor force, inappropriate technology, inappropriate educational system, and neoliberal economic policies? So when we talk about jobless growth, the growth of the country, the increase in the trends in the national income and per capita income we have seen right from 1950 to the present. The economic growth is, we are witnessing an increase in the economic growth, but that is not able to create the sufficient employment opportunities. The multiple reasons for that. We are not able to exploit our resources. Unless and until we exploit our resources, we cannot create employment opportunities. So we have to increase the production, we need to exploit our resources, and the growth should also be able to create more and more employment opportunities. If that is failing it, then unemployment extent or rate of unemployment increases. The second one is increase in the labor force. Here we consider the productive population, which comes under the category or age group of 15 to 60 years. Increase in the labor force. We are increasing the number of educational institutions at primary, secondary, and higher and professional levels. But at the same time, are we creating employment opportunities? If that is not matching it, that every year we have more number of unemployed youth coming where we're not able to create the employment opportunities. So increase in the population or increase in the labor force within the age group of 15 to 60 years, that is again to be, the government should provide the employment opportunities as and when they are increasing the number of educational institutions. The outcoming batches need to be provided with the employment opportunities. The next one is inappropriate technology. Technology in certain sectors is developed, and in certain areas, in certain regions, in certain sectors, it needs to be still developed. Appropriate technology comes only when there is proper utilization of them. For that, to make the best development in technology, we need to have skills and efficiency. That proper technology will increase the production, because technology always goes with a tagline that is increase in the production by minimizing its cost of production. Output more and with less input or with less cost of production. That is the beauty of the technology. So inappropriate technology, we have to adapt. The labor need to be adapted with the technological development. That is one thing. There should be technological development in all the sectors. Today, if we see industries, yes, there's technological development, but there should be more technological development even at the agriculture sector. So this inappropriate technology to certain extent is creating unemployment situations in an economy. The next one is inappropriate educational system. The present new educational policy has come up, which has made so many recommendations and changes so that will take care of the creating employment opportunities. A professional educational system is what, but to certain extent, our educational system, what we are having it, is not able to support to create employment opportunities. The next one is neoliberal economic policies, the LPG model, the new economic reform, which is basically for the development of the economy. The economic reform, what is liberalization, privatization, and globalization, has emphasized on the development of an economy, but the drawbacks or the negative impact of this has created more rate of unemployment, because this particular, the post-economic reform could not achieve to increase the employment to whatever they have targeted. So the causes of unemployment is growth rate is not associated with creation of employment, increase in the labor force, and inappropriate technology, inappropriate educational system, and neoliberal economic policies. So the next one is, what are the consequences of unemployment? Loss of human resources. That is, human resources plays a very important role for economic development. And if a person is not employed for a long period of time, we are not able to exploit the potentialities of human resources. So that is a great loss to the human resources. India has good labor for labor resources or human resources, but unless and until we provide the employment opportunities, we are not able to tap the potentialities of these human resources. The next one is, unemployment increases the poverty level. When a person is not finding a job, the incomes are not generated, and that leads to he is not able to satisfy the basic needs of their life. The next one is social problem. A person who is not getting a job, who is living in poor conditions, that may lead to the social unrest, and that may lead to the different social crimes. There is a possibility of having the crime. The next one is political instability. Political instability to a certain extent, because the changes in the government which comes with a different policies, the political instability may sometimes create unemployment situations in an economy. The next one is exploitation of the labor. Here, the people who are employed, we are exploiting beyond their capacity, and we are not able to employ the other category of the population. Unemployment always reduces the standard of living of the people, because higher the income, higher the national income, higher the per capita income, and higher the standards of living. And this is very, very important, because this is one of the components while constructing the HDI. So unemployment is reducing the standard of living of the people. The next one we have is employment gap. The gap between the employment and unemployment is widening, or the rich and the poor, it is widening, and the loss of skill usage. This is again one of the major, as it is given loss of human resources or the loss of skill usage. We're not able to exploit the skills and efficiency of the labor force. So these are the different consequences that are the impact of unemployment in an economy. Now we have a remedial measure. The government has suggested remedial measures to reduce poverty and to reduce unemployment. What are the measures that are suggested to reduce poverty and unemployment? The first program is Resource and Income Development Program, Special Area Development Program, programs for creating supplementary employment opportunities, and minimum needs program. Let us have a look at our programs in detail. The first one is Resource and Income Development Program. Now this kind of programs have been operational since 1970. which basically takes care of improving the economic status of the poor people. And how this is possible? They are trying to provide the avenues, they are trying to provide the atmosphere so that they increases the income and the resources of the rural poor. With this kind of objective, the programs that have been designed under this particular one is SFDA, that is Small Farmers and Development Agencies, MFAS, that is Marginal Farmers and Agriculture Labor Agencies, IRDP, that is Integrated Rural Development Program. Basically, a very innovative program which is trying to uplift the people under the poverty line or the rural poor people by increasing the income levels of them. The next one is there are certain areas which are affected by the natural calamities. It could be famines, it could be drought, it could be floods. So these areas require some extra attention and specific programs can support to uplift these areas. And to have a look at these programs, the Special Area Development Program, what is SADP, this aims to develop the areas for specific purposes and to raise the incomes of the weaker sections of those particular areas, those areas which have been affected. What are those programs which come under this category? They are DPAP, Drought Prone Area Program, DDP, Desert Development Program, HADP, Hill Area Development Program. The next one we have is programs for creating supplementary employment opportunities. We have NREP, the National Rural Employment Generation Program, Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program, Food for Work Program. So what exactly is this particular Food for Work Program? Under this particular program, the workers, when they are paid the wages, some part of the wages are paid with the essential or the staple food grains, that is either rice or either wheat along with the wages, and also support for the upliftment of the rural people. The next one is PMI UPEP, that is Prime Minister Integrated Urban Poverty Eradication Program, which is basically looking for creating supplementary employment opportunities to the people in the rural areas. They are trying to pay people in urban areas as well as in the rural areas. So we have some programs which is emphasizing for the development of the people at the rural areas, some programs for the development of the people at the urban areas. So PMI UPEP, which emphasizes to create supplementary employment to the poor people in the urban areas, because this program believes in eradication of poverty in urban areas. The next one is NREP is now considered as MGNRAGP, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Generation Program. The next one we have is Minimum Needs Program. This is a 20-point program which aims at improving the consumption levels of the poor sections and also takes care of increasing the productive efficiency. How can productive efficiency can be increased? This is possible when when we are able to develop the human resources, that is with health and education, and also taking care of providing the basic facilities to them. So under the 20-point program, it takes care of increasing the productive efficiency that is possible when we are able to provide the elementary education, the basic education. Amartya Sen has emphasized on primary education. He has said that this primary education will bring overall changes in the economy. Well, apart from primary education, he said primary education and female education or women education plays a multi-dimensional changes, provides or facilitates multi-dimensional changes in the society. Likewise, healthcare facilities, proper food, proper nutritious food, because level of malnutrition, if it is increasing, that is again a major drawback on the development of the economy. So the health should be provided, and we always define good health as proper health facilities with nutritional and medical care that is called as health. Sanitation, water supply, this plays again very important role. We have different programs what the government has emphasizing to provide the safe drinking water to all the people and basic sanitation to all the people in all the areas. Roads, electrification, housing and nutrition. Roads, basically in the rural areas, if these facilities are provided, they can fetch better prices for their commodities and we can uplift these people above the poverty line. So under the minimum needs program, health, education, nutrition, water supply, roads, housing and electrification. And today the present government is providing 2 BHK for all the poor people so that they are taking care, uplifting the and improving the productive efficiency. The next one is there are two pronged strategy have been introduced by the government, which is trying to provide a solution to remove or trying to provide a solution to the problems of the poverty. What are these particular two major strategies? One is expansion of sectors which promises higher labor absorption. Now we have three major sectors, primary, secondary and tertiary. And under this strategy, they are emphasizing expand that particular sector which can create more employment opportunities, which can absorb more labor, even if it is agriculture or industrial or tertiary. So if tertiary is trying to create, if tertiary sector, service sector is creating more employment opportunities, so the government should emphasize on expanding that particular sector. But at the same time, we cannot afford to ignore the other sectors. So expand that particular sector which is promising or which is promising to create more employment opportunities. The next one is empower the poor with education, skill formation and health so that they can enter into the sectors which require higher competence and provide better remuneration. Now, when we see the sectoral contribution from primary, secondary and tertiary, today we are looking into that. The tertiary sector, the components under tertiary sector is increasing and that is supposed to be the fastest growing sector. When do we say fastest growing sector? When it is creating more employment opportunities, when it is contributing more to the national income. So here, these kind of sectors which are fastest growing sector are agriculture, industry and tertiary, try to empower the skills of the people so that they will get employment in that sector where they are getting more incomes and more remuneration. So the line says that empowering the poor with education, try to provide the training facilities so that we try to provide the professional education, try to provide the best training facilities which empower the skills so that they can enter the sectors, because some of the laborers who are not skilled are finding difficult to get into the, for example, a farmer working in the agriculture may not be able to adapt the technology which is happening in the industries and the service sector. But in case if the people are educated, if they are skilled and efficient, they can enter into any sector which is providing the most promising opportunities and the best remuneration. So that is. So here the two important strategies is expand the sector which is trying to promoting or trying to promise to have more employment opportunities. And the second one is irrespective of that, empower the skills and efficiency. And today the government has taken various measures to empower the skills and efficiency of the people so that they can employ in the sector which is promising with better remuneration. The next one we have is what are the Amartya Sen strategies on this particular poverty alleviation program. We all know that he is a Nobel Prize winner and he has submitted many papers on HRD and he is a Nobel Prize winner because of his contribution on HRD. And let us see what suggestions or what recommendations or what, according to him, what reduces the poverty levels and unemployment levels in our economy. Adoption of a strategy of pro-poor growth instead of emphasizing liberalization and GDP growth. So we have to have the reforms, we need to have the policies, we need to have the strategies which are concentrating on the uplifting the poor people rather than emphasizing on economic reforms, which is more creating more gap between the rich and the poor. So more than liberalization and GDP growth, have us come out with such policies which is emphasizing or which is uplifting the poor people or trying to uplift the people from the poverty line. Stimulating agriculture growth. Even today, India is agriculture country. It takes care of the food requirements of the complete population, growing population. And here we need to still accelerate the agriculture growth. That is productivity per labor and per person needs to be employed. And this all will happen when we are trying to come out with some changes in the methodology. No doubt, at present, there is so much tremendous change in the methodology that we are adopting in the agriculture sector. So the productivity per person and per area should be emphasized, and that happens only with technological development in the agriculture sector. The government is spending a lot on research and development. The government is spending a lot on the development, providing the adult education to the farmers, and we have different institutions which is taking care of agriculture credit to the farmers. So with all these measures taken care by the government, we are trying to stimulate the agriculture growth, and this will take care of the 56% of the population even today we have depending on the agriculture sector. The second one, the third one suggested by the Amartya Sen is increase the productivity and job quality of unorganized sector. Agriculture is supposed to be unorganized sector, traditional sector, primitive tools and techniques. So here, increase the productivity and the quality of the work. Productivity levels. Again, I'm repeating over here. The productivity levels per area and per person. The contribution made from a person and the contribution made by an area both needs to be increased. Only then we can stimulate the growth in the agriculture sector. The next one is improving the share of wages in the growth to achieve poverty reduction. Try to improvise the wages of the people so that they are able to increase the standard of living, and that will help in achieving or reducing poverty levels. The next one is empowerment of poor through education and skill formation. This is a need of the day. We need to make the technical education should be provided to the farmers, industrialists, and the laborers. Technical education is very, very important because that emphasizes, that improves the skills and efficiency, because this is very, very important for us to increase our economic growth, and that will reduce the poverty and unemployment. Empowerment through provision of better health facilities. We have different programs like NRHM, NUHM, Janani Suraksha Yojana. This program is, as it is providing the better health facilities, we still have to provide strict monitoring of these provisions in the areas. The next one is provision of houses, empowering the poor through provision of houses, empowering the skill formation by expanding the IT sector. Expansion of IT sector, as it is, we are witnessing it and this is promising sector which is creating more employment opportunities, and this sector requires more trained people. So if this sector is expanding it, that means that we are emphasizing on skill formation and efficiency development. Providing employment through Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. That is, government has, as it is coming with different employment-oriented policies, to try to provide the support these people, unemployed people, with these kind of programs which have been initiated by the government. So these comes under the Amartya Sen strategies, which basically emphasizes on providing health, education, and increase employment opportunities in all the sectors of the economy. The next one use of Abhijit Banerjee in poverty. Recently, they won the Nobel Prize for their contribution, and they have emphasized that how to reduce the poverty levels in our economy. Now here, this is the end of the chapter, and over here, the topics you need to understand and you need to able to answer, analyze the trends in the growth of national income and per capita income, talk about the growth rate of national income and per capita income, sectoral contribution, how much each sector contributes to national income from 1950s to the present year. The three important 10 marks questions will be inequalities of income and wealth, causes and measures. Likewise, unemployment causes and measures, poverty causes and measures. With this, we have completed the chapter, and this chapter is very important from the examination point of view. Thank you.
ఆ చదువులమ్మ నేరుగా ప్రతి ఇంటి గడప చేరగా మీ భవితకే భరోసా దూరదర్శన్ వేదికగా తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వ సహకార